A father's unbreakable promise. On a quiet winter evening in a small American town, a young boy named Ethan sat by the window, watching the snowfall. His father, Daniel, had just returned from a long day of work. His jacket was worn, his hands were rough, and his eyes looked tired. But the moment he saw Ethan smile, all his exhaustion faded. Daniel was not a rich man. In fact, he barely earned enough to pay the rent and buy groceries. But he had made one promise the day Ethan was born. "I may not give you everything in the world," he had whispered while holding his newborn son, "but I promise you'll never feel alone." Life tested that promise many times. Daniel worked 2 jobs, one during the day at a construction site and another at night delivering food. Some nights he returned home so late that Ethan was already asleep. Yet every morning, he still woke up early to make Ethan breakfast and walk him to school. People in the neighborhood often saw Daniel quietly working, never complaining. And sometimes, when the night felt too heavy, he would whisper to himself, "A father's love is quiet and deep. Promises he makes are the ones he keeps." Years passed, and Ethan grew older. He began to notice the sacrifices his father made. The old car that barely ran, the same jacket Daniel wore every winter, the stock, and the way he always said, "I'm fine," even when he looked exhausted. One evening, Ethan asked softly, "Dad, why do you work so hard?" Daniel smiled and sat beside him, "Because your dreams are bigger than my struggles." Those words stayed in Ethan's heart forever. Some heroes don't wear shining crowns. They build their children while life breaks them down. When Ethan reached high school, things became even harder. Daniel got injured at the construction site. The doctor told him he needed months to recover. For the first time, Ethan saw fear in his father's eyes. Bills piled up. The savings disappeared quickly. Yet Daniel never stopped encouraging his son. "Your future comes first," he always said. Even while recovering, Daniel found small jobs he could do from home, fixing tools, repairing furniture, anything that could bring a little money. Late one night, Ethan woke up and saw his father sitting alone at the kitchen table, while quietly counting a few crumpled bills. Daniel didn't notice his son standing there. He simply whispered to himself, "The road is hard, the nights are long, but a father's promise must stay strong." That moment changed Ethan. From that day forward, he studied harder than ever before. While his friends spent time at parties, Ethan spent nights reading, learning, and chasing the future his father believed in. Years later, the day finally arrived. Ethan stood on a large stage at his college graduation. Hundreds of people filled the auditorium, clapping loudly. But Ethan's eyes searched for only one person. In the back row sat Daniel, wearing the same old jacket, smiling with proud tears in his eyes. When Ethan was invited to give a short speech, he walked to the microphone and took a deep breath. "I want to dedicate this moment to the man who never broke his promise to me, my father." The room became silent. He worked when he was tired, he sacrificed when he had nothing, and he believed in me even when the world didn't. Daniel lowered his head, trying to hide his tears. Ethan continued softly, "A father's love is a silent guide, standing strong by his child's side. Through storms, through pain, through endless fight, he turns the darkest days to light." The audience stood up and applauded. At that moment, Ethan realized something important. His father had not just raised a son. He had built a future. Later that evening, Ethan hugged his father tightly and whispered, "You kept your promise." Daniel smiled and replied, "And you kept my hope alive." Because sometimes the strongest promises in the world are not written in words. They are written in sacrifice, patience, and love. A father may not say much every day, but his love never fades away. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful life stories.